That's going to end up being my thumbnail.
Yeah,
Are
right.
we live?
Ah. What's up, profitable stylists? We are live coming at you. We are finally back home. We were at the American Hair Loss Council this past weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina, and boy, oh boy, did we have a blast. Well, I had a
We
blast.
did. I did too. I hope everybody can hear me. We're having some technical issues with volumes. I need RJ to tell me if I don't know. I'm playing you through the phone, and I don't know if it's double going back through the computer somehow when I'm talking. Anyway, it was it was great. You know, I went last year to San Diego just to check this thing out. So this year it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Next year it's going to be in Nashville, and I was really impressed at this beaded weft system. How interested the hairdressers were. I I mean, maybe we're going to get cut off here. Everything's good. Oh, wow. Interesting. So we'll go with
It's
this.
just on our end, and we'll do it like this then.
We're having some volume issues. But the thing that impressed me the most was we filled a room up at the booth. We're doing wefted hair extensions, and Brad said hairdressers would come up and say, can you slow that down? He said, I am doing it slow. Can you slow it down? I think I missed something. And he said, you didn't miss anything. It's that simple. I mean, you literally pull the hair through, squeeze a bead, pull the hair through, squeeze a bead. It's so complicated, and all the other techniques. Even I think even tape ins are a bit more complicated than the
Mhm.
beaded weft technique from on stage. And so he was having a lot of fun showing hairdressers like, no, it's your brain that can't get wrapped around this technique being too freaking easy and fast. It just quickly and easily puts a weft in. I think 6, 7 minutes, most of the stylists were averaging putting wefts in, and the hairdressers just kept asking, show that to me again. I'm missing something. You're not missing something. It's that easy. But hey, let me give a couple more shout outs because I had so much fun this weekend. God, I'm gonna miss people. I know it. This was my son's first hair show and one of my top stylists, Shelby's first hair show ever. Now, it's not huge, like a 50,000 hairdresser hair show. It's a niche market. It's a hair show just for hair replacement for the most part, hair extensions being part of the hair addition sector. And they both felt like rock stars because they don't realize how good they are till they get to a hair show and you've got everything. I'm sure you got some people there that are probably better than you, but they don't say it. But the ones that aren't are coming up and saying, "Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Oh, that's a good idea." And so my son said the questions he was getting, he was helping out at the John Renault booth. They were premiering the fact that they have a lot of hair in stock and this new technique called Chevaux Direct. It's direct inject hair with no return hair, so you don't have the short hair. So the hair's not knotted and is pressed into a silicone or polyurethane PU base, and it was pretty fun. People had questions, a lot of new stuff. I wrote a list here because I didn't want to forget anybody. So Brad Swift was the one from Midland, Texas, that came and helped us. I want to give him a shout out. It was really a lot of help. He was a lot of fun and hilarious.
Brad
And
is hilarious and he really knows his stuff, man, especially from the business perspective. He really has amazing insights from the business side of things on how to be profitable. Brad, you rock.
yeah, he's a business owner who didn't do hair extensions or hair replacement for many years. His mom was a beauty supply salesperson just like mine, so it was really kind of interesting. We have a lot of similarities in the younger childhood, watching our parents in the hair industry, thinking, nope, we never want to do that, and then you end up doing it. So that's kind of fun. And so yes, I introduced him to hair replacement and hair extensions over the last few years, and he just having that business mind and that attitude of you got to market it to make it work. He just flew forward in both aspects. So to go to this show and help us was a lot of fun. Um, I'm going to tell a little secret right now of something you're not supposed to do at this show. It's a pretty private show, and a few people looked at me kind of weird. And before it gets taken down or taken away, I just wanted to tell the world out there, if you want to get a sneak peek at this show, I did a Facebook Live, accidentally did it on my personal Facebook, and I just walked through the whole room. Now, ironically, somebody was got a baby grand piano pulled out into the hallway, one of the educators, and he did a haircut on a guy. Do you remember what song he was playing? It was a popular sing along.
I don't know what the name of the song is, but it goes, I love you, baby.
Yeah, Yeah, so everybody was singing along and videoing, and you're not supposed to, he got in a little bit of trouble for that. I love these renegades. You're not supposed to just take over the common area for the, you're supposed to stay in the booth you paid for. So
Worth it. Worth it. Because you and I are walking, and all of a sudden we hear the piano going and we hear the tune. We didn't hear anybody singing yet. Right? And then we and then we walk around the corner, and here he is getting a haircut while he's playing the piano.
I'm playing the piano, getting a haircut. It was innovative, great idea. I started video, and it's not my company. I'm not selling their hair. I think he worked for New Image, and so what recognition? Everybody's video, and a lot of people's videos are worldwide. I can't think quick enough to figure out which Facebook I'm on, my personal or one of my businesses. So I just quickly do it. I'm on my personal Facebook, and it's a business show, so you're not supposed to share prices. And I don't think anything in the video shares prices, but you pay a lot of money to go to the show, so they don't really want it shared on video. But I think it was a quick little commercial of what this show could be about, what hairdressers could enjoy at this show and get an idea. There's a lot of breakout rooms, private rooms, a lot of education going on. So I walked around the room. First, I'm videoing the piano because it was so good.
Frankie Valli?
What's that?
Frankie Valli.
Oh, is who sings it?
I love you, baby. Frankie Valli.
Baby. And so I walk, while I'm videoing the piano, I thought, well, let me just show everybody the whole show. So I walk around real quick and show the whole show and give you a little glimpse of it. But like I said, there's private rooms, breakout rooms, and other things going on also. But what a great idea. I love a marketing stunt that draws a crowd, and boy, did it draw a crowd. It was such a great idea. And so my personal Facebook, Bernard Ori, you could go there and find me. You could probably see it even if we're not friends, but feel free to friend request me. And then Shanna, I met her last year, and she did a technique called long hair bonding, which I thought had died, had been gone away. And she has brought it back to life. She shows a really concise, neat way of doing it. So much so, I love the technique so much so that I flew her. Well, I say I flew her. She covered her own expenses. I don't want to say that wrong. We covered the expenses of the video, but this exact room I'm in right now with this backdrop, she put a sign up, and we put her long hair bonding education on video that you can purchase through the Profitable Stylist. And a lot of people there were interested in it, and we sold a few because of it. So
the Profitable Stylist Academy. The Profitable Stylist Academy, our online virtual academy.
Thank you for clearing that up. Right. So she brings
we did a live with her too.
Yes,
while
we
were all filming. We did a live together too. That was funny as hell.
Right. So she does a step-by-step how she does it. And I have to say, I think a couple of the things that we tried to do long hair bonding just from watching YouTube videos, and a couple of guys are out there showing it, but the difficulty level was crazy. We didn't know what to charge for it, and cleaning it up, taking it off was such a pain. She's got it all so systematized, if that's a word. There's a clear system, and it works so well, and it's all she does. They just do long hair bonding. They don't do the other kind of bonding that a lot of us hair replacement professionals do. And we do so many techniques, and we did a couple of long hair bonds, but we hated it. We went to her class, went to her salon. She came to ours, and now it's like we don't hate it. I can't say it's our favorite technique, but it's a no shave technique. If a girl needs hair and they don't want their head shaved, the little bit they have, we can use their hair and not take their hair off. And it was neat. So she was there again, kind of showing it. She was actually using one of John Renault's Chevaux Direct hair systems in that little segment. She had her own booth doing it, but she also is doing coaching on how to run your studio. And that's mainly what she was there for this weekend, but she's got the videos to show how to do the technique. And then a shout out to John Renault. John Renault, our message was that they have hair. So I think he's the president. I keep calling him the CEO, Jeremy. He's got, they kept saying, so we're having trouble. People can't get hair in the hair replacement world. We're having to try to order crappy hair systems from China to get something, or these online services that have real low quality hair. And he told me this weekend, I said, here's my list of things I'm gonna say for the stage for you guys. And the first one was, we have hair in stock. And so he goes, let me see your list. And he goes, that's all you need to say. That first one. That's all. He said, that's enough. He said, that's enough. I mean, he said, I'm not a hairdresser. As the leader of the company, they told me, we don't have hair. You want us to sell hair, but we don't have it. He said, okay, I fixed the problem. Sell it, guys. We've had it for a couple of months now. Now, they are predominantly known as a wig company. So when they broke into men's hair replacement, people are still thinking, are you sure John Renault sells men's hair? Because aren't they a wig company? And so, well, there are wigs, toppers, synthetic, human. They've got quite supplies, wet lines, support products. I mean, combs, brushes, my new favorite hair product called Peace Out. And yes, now they have men's hair systems. I don't think because they're known for wigs that people say, oh, John Renault, I can't get a men's hair system. It's going to look like a wig because they sell wigs. Some of the people are thinking that's the correlation that's going to happen. We put hair on a couple of guys there that looked incredibly good. I mean, it was crazy how good they looked. And my son did them. So my 25-year-old son was on stage for the first time. He was nervous. He's not great on a microphone, so we didn't put a microphone on him. I did all the talking, and he did the hair. And then he went and did a couple of presentations in their booth on floor level where people could walk up and see. And that's when they were asking, why do you have those marks on there? He said, so that I can put it back exactly where I need it to go. And then, how do you know the marks are in the same place? Because people walk up late. He said, well, when I have it on the head and I peel up the front, I put the marks on the same place on both so I can line them back up. And they're like, oh, he said, Dad, I felt so smart because. And then I love Brad because Brad said, you don't know who your dad is, do you?
Yeah, right. It's a
Like,
humbling moment for him to appreciate the level of mentorship and training that he's actually received.
He's spoiled, right? He just grew up. And he thinks I'm just another hairdresser. And to some degree, I just feel like another hairdresser. When I get there, it reminds me of like, wow. I mean, it's hard to be humble in a situation like that. But when you get there and people are asking questions and you have all the answers to these tough questions and people around are saying, oh, that's a good answer. That's a good idea. Or how did you learn that? Now, teaching all across the country is part of my education also. Like I'm teaching, but I'm getting taught. Because when you teach, like hair skiing was there, and I launched the education along with Jay Benjamin for the education for hair skiing a few years ago. And we get out on the road, and when you're teaching 10 or 20 people at a little thing every month, and you do that 12 times through the year, you're going to meet a few people along the way that do something that you've never seen before. It's an accident. Sometimes it's on purpose. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's an accident. And with the experience, you're like, that's a great accident. I'm gonna use. So then I start teaching.
It's so funny because I take all these tech calls from all different types of education that I do. So somebody will call about a keratin smoothing or a hair color or a hair extension, a haircut, a blow dry, a style, a retail product, something. And that's why I still love working behind the chair myself, because for me, I can go back to the salon and while I'm doing a client, I'm thinking in my head, how did this person do that? Like, I don't get it, right? So then sometimes a client will be like, I think I want something new. I'm like, I'm going to try to make this mistake. I'm going to try to replicate this mistake that somebody else did. And I'm going to see if we can mess up your hair. And then I'm going to see if I can fix it. They're like, I don't think I want anything new anymore. Just do the same thing, please. But it is true. You do the information sharing, the amount of information sharing that you get and the amount of knowledge that you pick up from speaking to other people and learning other people's perspectives on things is absolutely phenomenal. And it's great wealth of information to be able to bring that back and give it to another stylist who's asking a question to help them not go through those struggles that somebody else went through.
Right. And so sometimes just having all those mess ups in our head that we don't even have to experience because we watch somebody else in class or somebody call in about it, we learn from that. And then it's a great place to be in. It's almost like that game of cards where you got to turn over 2 matches and you got to remember where everything is. You got to remember all the good and the bad and use them to the best ability for teaching. So with my son, it was actually, it was kind of cool, Eddie. I didn't even get a chance to tell you yet. The owner of John Renault, who is mostly retired, trying not to work anymore, he's an older man, Mr. John Reynolds for John Renault, called me last night. Hey. And he said, he said, "You did a great job. I see that your son was helping you." And I thought, how did you see this? You weren't there. And apparently got a few videos sent to him, and it took a sentence or two to figure out where he's coming from. And I thought, oh, I hope he wasn't there, and I totally didn't say hi or meet. He came and he didn't come. And so I was kind of like in my head thinking, did I miss you? The way he said it, I saw your son was there, and I was like, oh, I didn't see you. But he said, thank you so much. That's so cool that you can work with your son. He said, at how was he able to do hair at 21 or 22? I said, oh, he's 25. He misunderstood the age, and he's like, oh, okay. He said, good for you that you can work with your kids because so many people can't. And I said, yeah, I thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I said, well, what I was doing, Mr. John, was showing the crowd how I taught him how to do hair replacement, but I also made education for John Renault that they're selling online. I did 4 different models, 4 different techniques, 4 variations in haircuts. So we show it all, no mannequin head. So it's real live. Things can go wrong, and things did go wrong, and we tried to fix them, edit them out. But basically, how to actually do, and I show most of the mistakes. And I said, so I wanted to show people, John, how I taught my son, and look how good he is. I can teach you guys how to do some new, up-to-date techniques. Or when you hire staff, when you hire don't take the time. Just spend $1,000, buy the online education, and put your new staff member through that education, and they'll have a better understanding and knowledge. It's worth $1,000 to not have, and you get 2 hair systems, which is unheard of. Most companies teach and send one out. They send 2 hair systems. Most people are more than 1,000, and you get one. I'm really blown away that John Renault's given 2 hair systems and the online training, a full kit, everything you need for $1,000. So that's kind of cool. And so John was so excited about it. He said, we're going to have to get you to teach our women's hair replacement next, and then on how to do this. And I was excited, and I thought, I hope he didn't ask me to do wigs, because I'm a little weak on the wig department. I'm learning. We're starting to sell them, and I do love them. It is a good lower cost option for people that can't afford hair replacement or don't want to go that route. But it was fun. I'm thinking if anything else, I might be setting up a future for Brennan to teach with John Renault. It was fun. And then Encompass was straight across from us. They're a marketing company that we met last year, and we are spending a ton of money with them to market our own personal salon business in the local market. And they're doing a great job. They're bringing in a lot of hair replacement and hair extension customers, and just regular color and highlight clients. And so it was neat to have them straight across the booth from us, just a little banter, and hey guys, liven up, smile, you're looking a little bored over there, whatever, just joking around. But they're marketing for our salon, and they give out this isn't the t-shirt, but they give out these t-shirts. And I was like, I spent a lot of money with you guys. I need 6 t-shirts. And they said, because I just love the feel of this material blend. I don't know what it is. And they give me all 6. It took a little while to get them to give up the 6. And I said, she asked me after I'm holding them all under my arm, she said, now who are these 6 t-shirts for? I said, me. What? I thought you wanted them for your staff. I said, no, I want them for working in a yard. I love the feel of this shirt. I got my 6 shirts. So I was really excited. They're really good at marketing, and I really thought I'd give them a little plug so they could get their money's worth out of the shirts they gave away. But and then for me, I only have one more, but which ones did you notice there that was kind of interesting to you, or I don't know, blew you away, or were you just kind of all focused in on our extension product?
No, definitely Jean Renault, Shayna. What is she? Studio U, right?
Right. So she's got a local business in Arizona, but then she is in the process. She only works in there a couple days a week. A month. She's got it where it runs pretty much without her, but her Studio U is where she goes and helps you up the level in your own place, learn how to do long hair bonding amongst other things. She's incredible with the sales process when she's sitting with a client. She truly cares so much.
And then I'm terrible with the names. Who was the guy from Max?
That's the one I was going to bring up. Okay, so
he cracked me up, man. He was freaking hilarious. Patrick. Yes. Patrick was amazing.
Max said he's.
And then the ultimate shout out before we get to our own personal crew, Janine. Come on.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute on Janine.
Okay. So then our personal crew, Rose. We would have been. I would have been freaking lost trying to run the booth without Rose. Rose she did a bang up job. She really handled all the. It allowed me to be able to figure out how to deal with the people, with the hairdressers, with the attendees coming through, and Brittany. If Brittany wasn't there, I would have been like a chicken with my head cut off, looking for stuff. I have no idea what's going on because Shelby and Brennan just tore up the booth and made a hot mess of everything. And they're gonna watch this and get all angry, right?
That's exactly what happens in the salon. Brittany and Shelby are my top two producers. They are slinging hair, and you know how people kind of affectionately call it slinging hair. Well, these two literally sling hair everywhere. They are slinging hair, but they're slinging color and adhesives and tapes that stick to everything. And Brittany is running behind them, cleaning up everything, organizing, greeting the client, getting the client prepped. And that's a good thing to have in a salon. If for you guys that are like doing hair replacement, this is what I say the future of hair replacement is. If you're just a hairdresser cutting or coloring hair, how do you pass on that business? Like even you, Eddie, you can't just give your customers to another hairdresser easily and repeat what you do. Hair replacement is that thing that you can. It's not even that easy to do that with extensions. Although extensions is a little more precision work, and you can kind of pass that on, which I've passed on a few. Hair replacement is not as much of a want; it's more of a need type of thing, and it's pretty standard. I mean, there's some individuality and creativity in this haircut, but taking it off and putting it back on, there's a lot of different techniques, and you can get the training. But once you've got it down, it's taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, a little trim around the edges, and so you can literally hire an assistant to help you do most of that work. Or 2 or 3 assistants if their license is even better, because then they can move into the things it takes a license to do. And you can literally, like I did, step out from behind that chair and slowly push them onto the helpers or assistants and have multiple private rooms or open air areas. And it's something that you can build a future on, that you can walk away from and just, you know how you spin plates? You can literally come a step back and just keep that plate spinning. You can just touch it a little and keep it going. You don't have to be there all day, every day. Sure, there'll be some problems to solve. Maybe they won't do it as good as you do. Some of you people have to let go and let these other people grow. Let go and let them grow. Oh, I like that. Let go and let grow. And so I've done that a little bit. Sure, my 25-year-old son is not as good at doing hair replacement as I am at 30 years of experience, but he's pretty good. And in some areas he has a more natural talent that he's better at, like lining men up, blending and fading. He loves the barbering side of the hair world. I never did. So he kind of enjoys that and does that a little bit better. Go ahead.
So the attendees, the hairdressers and the salon owners that actually came to the show, right? This industry, oh my God, was I impressed by the members and the attendees of this show, man. Holy cow.
So Eddie's only ever been to big hair shows with just cosmetologists, some barbers. This was the first like niche type of show you'd been to, huh?
Because at the big hair shows, it is what it is. It's a freaking circus act. And everybody's a peacock, and everybody's trying to get attention, and everybody's ego is so through the roof. Look, if NASA ever runs out of astronauts, they can come get us hairdressers. Our brains and our heads and our egos are already on the moon, man. That's how blown, that's how out of, anyways, as it goes. It was so amazing to me to be able to be in a room full of hairdressers. And it hit me, it didn't hit me till Friday night. No, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever the first night was. I'm all messed up.
Was it the night you were setting up? Friday we set up.
Did we go to the bar that night, or we went to the bar the next night?
A little bit on Friday night.
We were social.
It was all a blur.
It was all a blur.
Anyway,
but anyways, I was at the bar. I was getting you a water, and I was getting myself a drink. And just some random guy came up and he goes, "Hey, man, I really love what you guys do on Two Guys Chat. I watch you guys all the time." And I'm
That's
like,
cool.
"Oh, that's cool,
We're
man."
famous.
I'm like, "Okay, thank you so much." I'm like, and then him and I, we chatted for a minute, right? And I did ask him his name, and of course I forgot it because I suck at names. But then I saw him throughout the weekend too, and he ended up actually sitting in on one of our classes. And we just kept running into each other throughout the weekend. And every time I try to wave to him and say hi and smile and everything else. But throughout the whole weekend, that was just a running theme. It didn't matter if we were sitting at lunch at those tables. We'd start talking to people and socializing with each other. And everybody's laughing, having a grand old time, sharing information. And then at the classroom, and then through the hall, and then at the hotel. Just
Right.
everywhere, everybody just so willing to just talk and share information, and nobody got a freaking ego. It was so refreshing. So the bang up job on the American Hair Loss Council, great membership, great attendance, great people, man. That was one of my biggest takeaways.
Right. And it was kind of cool because somebody I taught a couple of years ago in a class brought a husband. I had taught when I helped hair skiing with the education. She comes to me and says, "If y'all need a model, let me know." Janine happened to hear that somehow, or maybe she didn't hear that. She came to me and said, "Now the funny thing is, we're cutting hair for John Renault at this show and loving their hair. And then there's a small company I'd never heard of before called Rush, and the guy didn't speak great English, but he's really good at doing hair." Janine comes up to me and says, "Do you happen to have an extra hair replacement model?" And I said, ironically, a lady just came up. It would have to be a high percentage of gray, like a 540. So I helped a company I'd never seen before. I said, "Yes, Janine. As a matter of fact, the hairdresser's name is also Janine, and her husband wears hair, was in a class in the past, and he's in the hotel 5 minutes down the road." And so I ended up connecting these two, and the guy thanked me all weekend. He wanted he needed a model. He didn't think that you could use models at the show, so he ended up using a model on the stage in front of the crowd. And I said, "You want him to come here 2 hours before, because he's got to get his hair system removed and a hair system put on. You need a little extra time to clean it up." And in his broken English, he said, "No, very good. Do long time, 1 hour plenty." I was like, he's got to be good. Without a salon and products, this guy is good. And so I've never used Rush hair. Don't know where it comes from, how good it is, but he was talented, and that I got to get him credit for. But one thing that we started working with recently was Max Adhesives. And Patrick over there, who owns that place, I think he's got a business partner or two. He was just such a nice guy. I went out to dinner with him and a few other people, and we were just talking about business, and he just gets it. He's a little older than me, and so he said a big part of his adhesive business is in the medical field, but he wears hair. So he's passionate about how good it stays on, how well it works, and how healthy it is for his own head. And so from there, he sells it in this industry. And my son started using their Adhere 360, and it held better than any white adhesive. There's a bunch of different adhesives. There's clear ones, white ones, but the white creamy adhesive that you paint on, you have Ghost Bond XL. There's Great White from Walker. There's all these different white adhesives. I can't even name them all. All the companies have their own name. We've used most of them. Well, Brennan puts this Adhere 360. He's like, "Dad, it stays on at least 2 weeks longer than all the other ones." And so he was super impressed. And they have these grab tabs and grip strips, good names, big giant strips. Everybody's has the holes in them. His doesn't have the holes. He said, "You know what the holes does? Holes do." I don't even know what the proper English there is. I sound like you. What the, what the, what the holes do is when you have the holes, you have less sticky surface area. So they just hold less good. Most people thought holes in the adhesive tape would provide breathability. You don't need breathing through tape. There's no breathing when you put a full skin system on. And the breathing happens right here and right there. It doesn't happen up here. I get what people are saying, but it comes off often enough There's plenty enough airflow. You don't need holes in some adhesives and not others. So the holes in the other people's adhesives, the goo comes through and creates more of a mess, and it doesn't stick as well. So these have better adhesive and no holes for more sticking power. It was some good concepts, and they worked well. We used both this weekend. But then you're right, Janine, who we interviewed a few weeks ago about the show. Next year, it's going to be in Nashville. And I ironically went to Nashville a few days before this with some friends just to go see a concert and hang out in Nashville. What a great town. Every bar in their strip has at least one band, if not two or three. You'd go in one bar, and it would be two or three stories, and every story had a band with a full crowd singing along. I can't believe how many hundreds of bands. Talk about where people get started. That's where you get recognized. And it was just, I don't even love music. I don't like dancing. I don't go out to see live music. But my wife drugged me along with these friends, and they caught me on video singing along to a few songs that happened to be songs that I knew all the words to, so I couldn't help it, And so I was like, oh, why are y'all videoing me? Don't post this anywhere. But I just think the educational experience was amazing, and it's a very long weekend, and it's a very high ticket price to go to this show, but you don't pay for the extra stuff. You don't pay for the breakout rooms. Some booths or shows you pay extra to go to these little private rooms. All day, each day, there's 3 different rooms going on. 3 different vendors are doing their level of education, and you have to choose like which one of the 3 you want to go to for this hour. Then the next hour, another 3. Then the next hour, another 3. And by the end of the 2 days of that happening, the first day is just a big stage presence. But at the end of that, you can't have seen all of them. You almost have to go another year to be able to see everything. I love that about the show. I love that there's more than I can consume.
And I didn't realize they were a nonprofit, the Hair Loss Council. I didn't realize they're a nonprofit.
So they can't be bought by any particular company. Well, I mean,
no, but they're putting on and they're giving away all these things to the members, and it just that was amazing. The whole thing was absolutely amazing.
It is. I think I said everything. I'll see y'all next year in Nashville.
Janine.
Well, I'm just saying, Janine puts this whole thing together. It's a nonprofit. When you call to sign up, she's the one that answers the phone. The business phone, I think she has a business and a personal phone because I've gotten called by both. But she always has both of them with her. And, she answers the phone. She helps you sign up. She'll hold your hand through it, explain it all to you. She really is everywhere. She's everywhere all the time, doing everything. And at the show, I said, are you nervous? She said, no, my work is a little, but all her work is done for the weeks and months leading up to it. On show day, it's like she kind of relaxes, but really it's the next couple of days where she absolutely does nothing for a day or two. Then it's all about next year. I mean, she was already in Nashville before this show, checking out the location before now just to make sure it was good and ready for the next one. So at this show, she can talk about where it's going to be the next year.
And then the onstage and the reason why we were there, the onstage flat beaded wefts. So that performed really well. It was really impressive being able to speak to a bunch of hair loss specialists, and they really hammered in their concerns, and they really hit us with hard questions, and they really tried to dissect this thing inside and out. And the overwhelming response that we got was just felt so good. It felt so good. So I told RJ said that he's putting the link in the description of this video too, because you were saying we can extend the show offer till when?
I didn't know, so I don't know till when. He's not in the room with me.
I had asked if we can extend the show offer just a little bit longer. So we're gonna put the link in the description of this video. And if anybody has any questions, hit us up. We'll try to get you sorted out and helped out. We'll go from there.
So one of the things that I just remembered when you said that everybody, they weren't easy on us because they're a high-level stylist. They are very money motivated, but they want it to be healthy and they want to care. And one of the board members actually came up to me. He's got a big hair replacement studio, and he was talking about how he doesn't do any hair extensions. And he said, because they're all damaging. And I said, let me stop you there. They're not. And he goes, oh, come on. He goes, I've been in this business longer than you. All hair extensions are damaging to some degree. I said, I can't just let you keep going with that because you're saying it like it's a definite thing, and it's not true. And he goes, to some degree. I said, well, if you want to get technical, anything that touches hair is damaging to some degree. I said, I mean, we're on planet Earth. Wear and tear is a thing. Brushing hair could be damaging, especially if done wrong. Color and bleach and chemicals can be somewhat altering, which would be maybe considered damaging. Some people love the alteration. It gives them more fullness, and they consider it a win over a negative.
Except for the color I do. It's very healthy.
Yes, right. So I said, I mean, so we can argue like the small semantics details, but if you're going to say extensions breaks off or damages hair, he goes, right, well, there's traction alopecia caused by extensions. I said, no, caused by hairdressers. There's bad hairdressers out there who haven't been trained properly that cause lots of damage. And you see those customers and put hair replacement on them. But hair replacement is not inherently damaging either. But I could have had the same argument with him because I've seen so many people do a terrible job with hair replacement or the removal. But I still stand on the three-leg theory. I was like moving my middle finger back and forth. So there's three things going on here: the company, the hairdresser, and the client. Those are the three things. I can't control all three. If you get good hair from a good company, no matter what you're doing, extensions, hair replacement, whatever, or even a good product, color, bleach, whatever it is, you get a good product, that's a good start. Then if you're a good hairdresser and you apply correctly whatever you're using, that's a good start. But we all have the client issue. They don't always take care of what we do correctly. They can screw it all up no matter how good the product and the hairdresser is. So that's what he's talking about. Sure, the best of the best still have problems because we can't control the client all the time. So I said, no, I gotta disagree with you. I know you've been doing this longer than me because you're older and you've been a hairdresser longer, but I've been a hairdresser 30 years. I think it's a long enough test to know that I have some clients, like I just saw one in a salon yesterday, that have been coming to me since I was a hairdresser like 3 and 4 years in. So over 25 years, I have 2 or 3 clients that are still getting hair extensions that I put in the very beginning of my career. If I was causing damage or traction alopecia, they'd be bald. They still have hair on their head. I'm still putting it in because I use enough hair to support the weight at the correct angle and get them taken out. And this girl doesn't even get them out as soon as she should. She actually leaves them in a little too long. And there is slight breakage because she doesn't come in when she should, but not enough to cause traction alopecia or damage it so bad that she can't have extensions put back in. And you would think after 20-something years, she'd be so bald in areas she couldn't have extensions. But no, she's still getting them because she just doesn't grow as thick a hair as she'd like. So I was glad to be able to be so strong with some of the so-called leaders at this show that just were, oh, extensions definitely damage hair. No, they don't. They don't have to. They don't.
Well, it was great to be able to be challenged, you know, and it was great to be able to respond back, and it was great to be able to show the reasons why and how this system, you know, or just extensions, hair extensions in general, but especially our flat beaded weft system, how it is so gentle and the technique is so simplified, which keeps it so gentle, which then allows the client to maintain it very simply as well too. So then all the way around, by the time they come back when they're supposed to and they get it taken out and put back in again, it's just a nice service to have done, and it's beneficial. It's helpful to everybody.
You know, something I was just thinking of, I was looking above my head at the beaded flat weft, and oh, I got to sneeze.
Whoa,
maybe.
Boy. Here it comes.
One of the things that makes extensions more able to be monitored compared to hair replacement is, as a hairdresser or a hair replacement technician, you put extensions in. Most of our customers have some sort of color alteration. And so extensions last longer than that color service they need to come back for. So if you're a good hairdresser, you're monitoring it when they come in for that color service. So you put the extensions in here, and then 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, the extensions might not be ready to come out, but they need a color service. So you should be scheduling them for a checkup on the extensions no matter what if you're worried about damage. But even when you're coloring or highlighting or whatever they need done, conditioning treatment, you're looking at the extensions and you're seeing, are they keeping them brushed out? Because that's the big problem. They'll let them tangle. It's so much more hair than they're used to. And so some of them don't brush their hair like they should. They get tangled, and then the tangles cause damage, which indirectly was the client's fault, but maybe they didn't know, and it's okay. But that's where you guide them through. You call and text. How are your extensions doing? Are you keeping the tangles out? Are you keeping it cleaned? And if you're going through the shedding process faster because you are a thinning haired client or losing your hair, maybe you need your extensions taken out and put back in sooner so that the few that shed, now that we don't have enough weight to hang from because some of those hairs shed and there's less anchor points, we need to take them out and re-anchor to more hair. So that's the kind of things that a professional extensionist starts to learn, how often a client should come in and how often you should communicate with the client to keep them having a good experience. All of that's experience that these guys have in the hair replacement world, but they don't have it in the extension world. They don't realize it exists. They don't realize you can alter, monitor, and keep it healthy if it's done right. And then it's a no-shave technique. Wait, are you still there? Because you look like you froze for a minute. Oh, you were just being
I am so laser focused on everything you're saying. Look, I get so excited about education. I really, really do. I am still high from the whole show weekend, man. I'm so excited to go into the salon tonight, and whoever, I feel bad for whoever my clients are tonight because they are going to get such an earful about education. They have no idea what they're in for.
We're going to do everything I learned this weekend on you today.
Everything.
Well, I think I have said it all.
Yeah.
Done. So, that was a fast 45 minutes.
Has it? Wow. Okay, cool. See, because it's so freaking exciting. The link is in the description. The offer is valid until Sunday night. So if you were at the show or if you're watching this now and you happen to come across it, you're interested in checking out the flat beaded weft extension education, hit it. You got till Sunday night. You get the promo.
Extended it Sunday night, you're saying?
Yeah, till Sunday night for the promotion. I mean, obviously the education's always there. You can sign up whenever. But for the special offer promo, getting it extended until Sunday night.
50% off, guys. It's half off.
Yeah.
Got to be licensed cosmetologist to do it, but I know you guys licensed. All right. Peace out.
Catch y'all next week. Thanks, everybody.